She wants to lean, she want the Gucci.
Hit my line, tell me what you wanna do.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel.
How you guys doing?
If you're a new subscriber, I'm Marquise.
I'm Sherman.
And this is S&M on Demand. Okay, so we're here for the Little Fires Everywhere review. We're just gonna kind of recap the season finale. And there absolutely is spoilers here. So if you have not seen it, don't come here and think you're about to get a spoiler-free review.
Definitely not.
Because you need to exit left, click off, come back, watch later.
I don't see how people watch reviews and get mad that it's be spoilers anyway.
Yeah. Alright, so we're just gonna start at the beginning. The episode opens up with Mia walking through a grocery store. She's getting stuff for her project that she's working on.
Bitch was buying hella flowers.
So much fucking flour. I was literally warned. I was like, where's this going? Where the fuck is she making?
I knew it had to be art. I didn't know what the fuck
Did
she
you?
was doing with it.
I thought this bitch was baking a big ass cake.
No.
Yeah, it starts out with that, and she's listening to this tape of the history of Shaker. So the people who live there, they say that Shaker is progressive.
They want it to be so bad.
Yeah, they really, really want it to be. It's definitely not. In the history tape that she's listening to, it's kind of just explaining that, you know, when they start migrating people there of other races or other immigrants, they had to pay the white people that were already there to stay in their homes, like not to move away.
That's why when Elena was always saying like her mom integrated Shaker, I was like, well, how did she do that?
Oh, okay.
And it just didn't all that.
Probably took credit for all of it. Just
I'm sure.
like they all like to do.
But even like the like when she was like she marched with Martin Luther King, like it all just seemed like it was all set up like to make them look integrated and make them look progressive.
Yeah, they really weren't. Alright, so let's just jump into at the end of the episode before the finale. It ended with basically Elena telling Pearl about the situation with her mother and her father, and basically kind of just talking about like how her mom kind of ran off with her.
Mia should be her ass.
Mia should definitely be her ass.
100%. It wouldn't have been no way to get me up off that.
I'm telling you, like, as soon as she looked out the blinds and seen Pearl and Elena pulling up,
she knew exactly what time it was.
She said, this bitch. I know she done told her.
And
so
then he pulled up to my house.
And then pulled up to the house. It's crazy. So, of course, you know, Pearl is upset. She's mad at her mother. She feels like her mother's always lying.
Is.
Yeah. I mean, well, she I feel like she lies with
a reason.
Yeah, with good reason.
But she was still lying.
Yeah. And it wasn't Elena's place to tell her.
And you wasn't even really lying for a good reason. You were just lying because, I mean, it ain't a good reason. She had a reason. I wouldn't say it's a good reason. You wasn't protecting Pearl from anything. You were lying to save your ass and not have your world shut.
I think if Pearl would contact her father, they would definitely try to take her.
But that's not necessarily protecting Pearl from life that she was born into. That was Pearl's whole purpose of being on Earth.
First of all, Mia got more money than everybody. Whether Pearl knew it or not, exactly. Mia got more money than everybody.
And we don't know, of course we don't know what contracts or anything that they had, but I don't even necessarily think that it was just herself. She was running because she didn't want the possibility of her being taken away from her.
Yeah.
Which is understandable, but at the end of the day, you were still lying.
And it was her egg.
Yeah. You had every right to think that.
It was her egg.
But me, if I was probably cussed her ass out too.
Yeah. Pearl was at the other house too much because she was talking back to her mama in the way she never talked back before.
Well, that's why I don't play that shit. Our kids staying at home any motherfucking way. Ain't no reason. I don't care how many kids over there for them to play with. But I always been that type. Ain't no reason for my kids to be staying the night at nobody else's house multiple times.
Oh, absolutely. I don't even trust other people's households.
First of all, you need to be at home for dinner every day. You're not eating dinner at nobody else's house 6 times a week and shit. Like,
yeah, she was always like,
and that's why they come back talking.
Her boo was over there. All right, so speaking of boos, let's get into Pearl, Moody, and Trip.
She just called him boo. She don't know his whole name.
I'm telling you, like, okay, let's start with the fact that Pearl had Moody fucked up.
Let's start with the fact that Moody is soft as hell, and like Izzy said, Pearl don't belong to her. Yeah.
Nah, she had her fucked up because she knew that boy liked her.
Just because you like a motherfucker don't mean shit.
Nah, she took Trip to his little hideout spot, was avoiding. Actually, she was lying too. Because when he asked her what she was doing, she'd say that she doing something else, and she out here in his hideout spot with Trip ass.
They had the little fake BSU organization at the school like it was that many black people. She was all lying.
She was lying like a damn mama.
At the end of the day, Moody needed that ass whooping he got because you shouldn't have been mad in my business.
The part that got me was when he was just like, yeah, I thought you was better than the other sluts he be with. That pissed strip off too, sir.
Moody was mad as hell. He tricked off on that bike, and he still wanted to go be with him.
Oh, okay, but I don't know. I was surprised because Moody got up on Trevor and was giving it to him, but Moody had to black out though.
Moody about that life.
Yeah, that whole thing was just crazy. But I think Pearl should have been honest with him.
Yeah, because you don't have to like somebody back because they like you. But you should have been honest. The whole thing.
I mean, well, I felt like that, like, Moody reached out to her because he just seen that she was a new girl in town. He showed her around. And he said, oh, she's kind of learning too.
Moody liked that.
But I think that Pearl never been somewhere long enough to actually have friends. So when she established friends, relationships, and other possibilities, something that she wanted. You know, Lexi was cool. She was a head cheerleader, but you
from
know,
what I seen, I don't ever think Pearl was giving Moody romantic vibes.
yeah. Moody wanted to hear my bitch poetry. Didn't nobody ask for my bitch poetry the entire show but Moody.
That's what people be getting their feelings in mixed communication and shit. Like, she never once was like, I like you too, Moody. You just thought that she was yours.
Yeah.
Now, granted, she might not need to fuck your brother.
But she wanted to.
But shit happened.
My bitch is over there teaching him math. No, he dumb than the motherfucker.
I ain't got nothing to do with this shit.
He said, I don't understand. She said, you gonna get it.
You gonna get something.
Oh, okay. He took my bitch virginity. Gave her a quickie, went soft on her.
At least they used the condom.
Okay. She went down like Lexi ass.
And the bitch used the condom and still ended up with her name at the abortion clinic.
Period. So let's get into Elena just basically blaming Izzy for everything.
I would hate to. I feel so bad for Izzy though. Like, to be a kid and grow up in a household where your mom has been evil to you and negative towards you literally since the day she found out she was pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
It really don't even give you a fighting chance to have a happy life. Like, your life was doomed from the time she found out she was pregnant, and that's just fucked up.
What's also crazy that I noticed was that, like, her biggest problem wasn't even coming out. Like, for a lot of people, when they come out, like, they also have to worry about what their parents think. Izzy was already at a disadvantage. Like, she went against the grain. She was super caring. She thought outside the box. Like, one thing that I like about Izzy that, like, I could see her being such a fucking activist.
She seen past her mom bullshit because her mom was giving her bullshit from day one.
Oh, she's the only one.
The rest of them didn't see it because she was catering to them and she was making sure they were perfect and thought they were perfect, and she never gave a fuck about Izzy. So Izzy seen the bullshit that was going on from the jump. That's why she wasn't ever there for it.
She had to fuck up. They absolutely did have Izzy fucked up.
What if Izzy wasn't the one that had to write the whole time, dude?
During the scene where Izzy sees Maya and Pearl leaving in their car for good, and she's like completely flipping the fuck out, and she's ready to burn the fucking house down.
That was sad.
It was really sad. And then, you know, the kids all came in to stop her, and then of course Elena hears all this commotion, so she comes in. And she's like, what's wrong with you? Blah, blah, blah. So then Izzy tells her that, you know, she was so upset about April because April was her girlfriend for a year. Elena basically tells her, you know, I never wanted you. Because she was telling her that Maya was a better mom. She listens. You know, she's more caring. And then she was like, well, fine, go chase after her. You know, I never wanted you.
I never wanted your ass anyway, so she go about your business. But then you upset when she leaves.
Yeah.
Which I was telling her.
But she wasn't even initially even upset because like everybody in the room, they mouth dropped. They was like, what the fuck?
She let that bitch go.
She grabbed her shit, she left about the door, and then Lexi came back, and then, you know, everyone's like, go after her. She's like, no, she wants to leave, let her leave. And
I couldn't imagine us having children and our children want to be anywhere else but at home. Like,
yeah.
Y'all hoes gotta do better.
Yeah.
Because there's a bunch of you mamas out there just like Elena.
In a sense, I feel like Bill, who understood Lizzie, should have been more of her ally with taking up for her and checking.
Bill didn't have a backbone from the jump.
But I mean, but you know what I'm saying? Because like also she was being crucified by her mother, but her dad said nothing. But also shit, she was running over everybody in the motherfucking household.
Shit Bill should have slid up and said for throughout all the years, and you did.
True.
You just was a punk ass man.
So speaking of Bill and Elena, let's get into Elena ass creeping off to what I guess New York. When he came home and she was like, so are we not going to talk about the trial? Are we not going to speak at all?
He was like, bitch.
But shit, when he first came in the door and she's standing by the door, he was like, can I help you?
Fuck you want, bitch. What is that? He was talking about cheap champagne and what? He was like,
oh, okay.
He was like being a cheap something and paying the bill.
What? And then he was like, well, at least Moody ain't paying for cheap champagne and blah, blah, based on the bill.
Tricking off with
She
them.
said, what you talking about? He said, oh,
You want to see?
receipts, bitch.
And then they were so dumb.
She was like, what's this?
Especially from back in the day, you know it's a paper trail every motherfucker.
Okay, definitely a paper trail.
And then you know your husband to do all the finances, so you don't even give a fuck if he seen the deal.
Okay.
That's when you go upside the motherfucker head, because now you're being disrespectful.
I'm telling you, but
And you done already fucked the man 11 years before.
okay, trying to reclaim what's hers.
That's why he didn't want her to go though. Now that I look back on it, that's probably why he didn't want her to go in the first place.
Oh,
He
actually,
already
yeah,
knew
that would make sense.
He probably already knew what the fuck was going on.
My favorite part of that was when he finally snapped on her. He was like, everybody got a problem and you are the common denominator out of all. When he told her that she was the common denominator, her mouth just dropped. I think it was one of the times that she just couldn't argue because she was like, damn, maybe
People
you're
be
right.
when people just be so toxic and just so self-absorbed, they just be so shook when you throw everything in their face finally. Like, when a motherfucker finally break it down to them, they don't know what to do.
So speaking of Linda.
Speaking of fortune cookies, I'm gonna go ahead and be the problematic one right now and say that it should have been Linda Baby. I was happy with the verdict.
Were you?
Yeah.
I think Linda deserved that baby. One thing about the case, I don't think that Linda is racist or anything. I just think that I don't know who the fuck they hired for Ming Lee. Defense, he was good than the motherfucker.
He was good. Cause if we go to adopt a baby, we're going to put black.
Yeah,
That'll
yeah.
be our natural thing.
He brought all that up. He said, "Did you what color baby did you check?"
And I would have been nervous, bitch black. Shit, that's not the baby that we
He
ended up
said,
with.
"So you got this Asian baby, and you bought fortune cookies."
Now that was that bitch.
And then no, but see, and then remember when she offered that those $10,000?
That was her ass.
That was that bitch too.
That bitch always fucking up some shit.
She always inserted herself in people's business. Even when Elena came over to the house, came over to Lynette's house, and she was like, well, maybe we should dig up some more dirt. Maybe we should do this. And it's like, bitch, why you always just stop?
Shit, bitch, sit down somewhere.
Stop being so problematic.
You got
Stop
your own
looking for
shit to worry
shit.
about at home.
Like, listen, your motherfucking household's destroyed, sis. You need to go there and take care of your family. But also, like, I don't think that Ming Lee needed that baby.
At the end of the day, you dumped your baby at the fire station in the cold.
In the cold.
Really just to let her die. So there,
And also, she had no food to feed this baby.
it's always a way to get food. I don't be trying to hear that shit. If you gotta go steal, you up at the register begging, you could have had that motherfucking can of milk in your pocket and not store about it. Like, it's ways to feed your kids.
But you know, Ming Lee don't want to be no criminal.
Man, you already. But the baby is so young. Who's to say if you would have got her back in your custody that you wouldn't have dropped her ass right back off? She's still gonna be crying all night. She's still gonna be upset, and you don't know what the fuck to do. You still poor and can't afford the things she need. Not saying that money is a better lifestyle, but you claim you dropped her off because you couldn't afford milk, but you still poor. So how you gonna feed her now?
Right.
Like,
Working at the same place on the same salary.
and she finna eat way more than milk now in a couple more.
Mm-hmm. When Ming Lee came and took that baby in the middle of the night.
That's gonna be crazy. That's what I'm saying. Like, the end was just so much. It was so much. I'm happy that they left it where they did because there's so much that they're gonna be able to pick up on.
Yeah, they haven't announced season 2, but I definitely believe there will be a season 2 because everyone that watched, they want more.
It'll definitely be a season 2.
So yeah.
And they left it so good where it's automatically gonna be a good season 2.
Pearl not saying goodbye to Trip, I thought was like her picking up her mother's bad habits of when shit gets tough, just to pack up and leave. I'm kind of 50-50 on it because I believe that, like, okay, she should say by the Trip. She's formed out that she did make these brothers fight. And then on the other hand, I feel like that shit went so fucking left.
It's just so much. It wasn't even about her and Trip at that point. It was just so much shit going on.
So much shit. For season 2, questions answered. Where's Izzy going?
Izzy out of there.
Izzy, like, all of the ages, like 12. Where's she going?
Outside.
I want to know who house Pearl and Mia are at. I believe it's the grandparents' house.
Yeah.
I want to know how they're going to react to their grandchild. I want to know if they're going to forgive Mia, which it didn't sound like that they even really cared when Elena went over there. But I feel like once they see Pearl,
I feel like they're gonna shut Pearl out, and Pearl gonna get a glimpse of why Mia lives like she lives.
oh,
That's where I think it's.
that's fucked up.
Yeah.
It's fucked up also because that's their only grandchild.
That'd be fun.
Mia's their only living child. People be so like heartless. Like,
It's
it's
be crazy as fuck.
overall, The season got a 10 out of 10 for me.
10 out of 10. Probably, I think my favorite series out of all the series we've watched this year.
Mm-hmm.
And we done watched a lot of shows.
It was it definitely kept you on your toes. And one thing I like is that like when things are based off of a book and then they have 8 episodes or something along that mini series line, they have so much material to throw into 1 hour that you're never actually really let down.
Yeah, and you can't really get bored. Like, it's not a point where like, okay, this is a dry ass episode.
Yeah. I would say we definitely watched every Wednesday faithfully. So
I didn't realize we was watching for 8 weeks.
it was definitely good, and I highly, highly recommend it.
Definitely should watch.
I definitely want a season 2. Another thing I love is like when they turn books into series, that they always bring the writer in of the book. So she's like, hey,
Sometimes, if they know what they're doing, they do.
yeah, yeah. 'Cause sometimes they get a little cocky. They say, girl, we can do this without you. Well, yeah, we highly recommend it.
Definitely.
Thank you for tuning in,
Thanks, guys.
and see you next time.
Bye.